God came down to earth, stepped out of heaven, walked into your house.
The song is called Because He's God, and it's in the key of G, and my guitar is tuned down a half step, so the capo might be in a different spot for you. It might be on 3 or something like that. And I'm just going to walk through it with you. I do this beginning little thing, and it's mostly a vocal thing. The 2 chords are just A minor 7, and D. And the vocal lick just happens on top of that, like... And then there's a verse that happens, and the verse is really just, it's a really simple progression in the root notes. It's just E minor, God came down to earth, C came down to heaven, walked into your house, D said, ask me anything. And it's just that progression over and over, but sometimes I'll like to find a more interesting way to play it, and so the first chord is just an E minor. You continue to play E minor in the bass, or the E note in the bass, and then you walk this note on the A string, and then you put those 3 fingers down right there, whatever chord that is. I don't really know, but it is kind of an E minor chord. What if God came down to earth? And then you go to a C in the root, and then I put these 2 little notes right here. Came down to heaven. And then G, walked into your house, and then D like this, which is just a C chord up 2 frets. And said, ask me anything. So that is the verse slowed down. We just play it in real time here. What if God came down to earth, stepped out of heaven, walked into your house, and said, ask me anything. And you said, I just have to know how we get to heaven. And you were hanging on his every word. Just an A minor, he's God. You believe because he's God. He said there's a way to go, an open door for the human soul to come today. Jesus is the way. And the chorus is just those 4 chords over and over again. A minor, G, A minor, and then C, and sometimes I put that G note in the bass on the C to make it just a bigger chord, and then G. My only son, he's the one I love, and I gave him my way. Ought to be saved. Jesus is the way. And then going to the bridge, it's just 2 chords. It's just A minor and F. The whole time. The fork in the road ahead that you are walking, it is wide and it is easier, but it leads to destruction. And then the band kind of all does the same rhythm when it kicks in halfway through the bridge, and we all do that. And the way is the narrow way, path less taken. It is hard and it requires a life. It's the pathway to Zion. And it just keeps on going. And then it goes to kind of a down chorus, and it ends on this C over G kind of a chord. There's a way to go, an open door. And we kind kind of ended up strumming the triplet thing on that section. There's a way to go, an open door for the human soul. You can come today. Jesus is the way. And then the D chord to kind of get us back into the right key. A little key change. That's what we do here, is key changes. And then we're back into the chorus here. There's a way to go, an open door for the human soul. You could come today. Jesus is the way. He's my only son. He's the one I love, and I gave him up. But he ought to be saved. Jesus is the way. And at the end of the song, it stands on that little chord right there.
Because he's got